We all know the cost of college education is becoming increasingly unaffordable, forcing many to take out student loans that have become a massive financial burden for many years. What if I told you there was a government program that could totally wipe away your student debt, nearly guarantee you a higher paying career, and give you life experiences that will benefit you for the rest of your life? All this and more in today's video. Hello and welcome to the Stephen Carlson Show. I'm Stephen Carlson. I'm a tech entrepreneur, real estate investor, author, YouTuber, and helicopter pilot. Now, before I jump into the student loan debt program, I want to give you a little background. Don't worry, I'll be very quick. I'm flying around the country in a helicopter, meeting incredible Americans along the way and listening to their stories. One of these destinations on my trip, we had the unique opportunity to visit the U.S. Coast Guard Air Station Sacramento. This is the West Coast's only fixed-wing asset with an AOR that spans all the way from the Mexican border on the south to the Canadian border on the north. In previous videos, we spoke with LTJG Gunn as he gave us a great overview of the search and rescue missions that they conduct at this air station. And he took us on a tour of the cockpit of his HC-27J Spartan medium-range surveillance aircraft. If you haven't already watched the previous video that shows us flying in over the Sierra Nevada mountains, you should definitely check out that video after this. The views were magnificent. Now let's get to the reason why you clicked on this video: student loan debt. According to the Federal Reserve, the average college debt among student borrowers in America is $32,731. Over a 10-year period of paying the minimum loan payment of $342, that $32,000 that you borrowed will now cost you over $41,000 to pay it back. Of course, the average graduate with a bachelor's degree can expect to earn about double the amount of income over their lifetime compared to someone that only has a high school diploma. The key is, how do you pay for this college without going into debt? A common misconception is that a graduate will immediately begin to score high-paying jobs. That is not true. Per USA Today, a recent survey shows that the average graduate fresh out of college has a starting pay of $55,260. But you do need to subtract that $4,104 in annual loan payments, so you now are only making $51,156. Okay, I'm tossing a bunch of numbers around here, but I'm not really answering the main question as to why you came here, so let's get to that. Here is a program where you can start getting pay, housing, and medical benefits of more than $63,000 a year for the first year without going into any loan debt.
So I commissioned through the College Student Pre-Commissioning Initiative back in 2018. I went to Humboldt State in Northern California, graduated, got picked up for the program, went to boot camp, went to a recruiting office for 6 months, and then had guaranteed OCS. The deal was I got my student loans paid for, up to $60,000 in student loans.
So the loans that you had from, because you went to civilian college and then you had already had student loans, so the Coast Guard said, hey, we'll cover that. Is that how that worked? Or?
Exactly. Yep. A more common route to take with the CSPI program is getting picked up while you're in college for your last 2 years. You have 2 years of college tuition, housing, books, any sort of fee associated with your degree is paid for. You're in the Coast Guard, you get to wear a Coast Guard uniform, and then once you graduate, you have guaranteed OCS after that.
Okay, so I guess during that program, would you basically be like, I guess for Coast Guard, would you be an ensign at that time, or how does that work?
So you're an E3 until you finish OCS, which
so
is
you'd be considered enlisted, and then you'd go through to OCS.
Exactly. Yep. And once you finish the 17-week OCS, Officer Candidate School, then you're a commissioned ensign in the Coast Guard.
Okay. So similar to the Navy on how they do that.
Yep. Okay. Exactly.
The CSPI program allows you to enroll in the Coast Guard either while you're currently in college or after completing college. Students that are accepted into this scholarship program will be enlisted in the United States Coast Guard. They'll complete basic training during their first summer, and they will receive full funding for up to 2 full years of college. This funding includes your tuition, your books, fees, pretty much every expense you'd have, plus also a full-time Coast Guard salary, your housing covers, and also all your medical benefits. This program is great for you if you're already enrolled in college, but what if you're in high school and you are about to enroll in college?
So that worked out well for you, and then you came in. What program did you go in on?
So I went to the Academy straight out of high school. Entered in 2014. Went to the Coast Guard Academy for 4 years. Graduated in 2018.
So you had no student debt prior to it because you went directly into
Correct. Yeah, I went directly into there, and so going to the Service Academy, obviously, no student debt for there. It's paid for it, and actually something cool to keep in mind with the Service Academy, they actually pay you like a small stipend per month too while you're there. So
just for your common expenses.
Exactly, common expenses. Exactly.
So that worked out for you. So obviously you graduated, went through the same officer program as well. It just two different paths to take to the same end goal.
Correct.
As both the LTJGs stated, either path takes you basically the same place. You become a commissioned officer in the United States Coast Guard without any student loan debt. After completing your time as an officer, you now have life skills that are very highly sought after in the job market. Many of these skills will also make you great at starting your own business.
Before I went to A school to become Intel specialist, I was doing non-rate work, which you're pretty much handyman work. You pretty much do whatever they need you to. But I also was able to move around a lot and see different other jobs, so it can kind of mold an idea of what you actually want to do in a long run.
So you kind of get different skill sets from different types of things.
Yeah, just random things. Every other day I was doing different types of things, whether it's home improvement stuff or just anything. And I also went to different units to see other rate-specific jobs to see what they were doing. So it kind of it can mold your open your brain up to different sides of the world.
Now you mentioned rate specific. Maybe for some people who are not exactly familiar with
so basically just different jobs within the Coast Guard. I do intel work. A BM drives the boats, boatswain's mate, and
right.
Other people mechanic wise.
So rate's kind of like the specialty that you go into. Would that be a good way to describe it?
Yes, it's the trade they treat you pretty much.
Let me give you this one little tidbit of information. While college program is available for all different ranks and rates in the United States Coast Guard, the two officers that were here in this interview use this to pursue becoming pilots. After they retire from the Coast Guard as an aviator, they can easily look forward to a job as a commercial airline pilot with an annual salary of $150,000 to over $300,000 per year. Or you could follow the same path as Petty Officer Batten, and he is currently studying information security. This is a massive demand for IT security consultants in the civilian world.
And then, Petty Officer, you were mentioning, how is that the system that you're going with?
Naval Community College, and it links up with different colleges and different areas, but it's all remote work. So I signed up for a program which is for cybersecurity, and they have different programs. Some of them are just certificates, just get certs.
Right, which makes sense for some different types of courses.
And others, this one, you'll leave with an associate's degree, and I can do it while still being in the Coast Guard, getting paid the same as if I'm working here, but I'll just be at home.
So you wouldn't have a duty station that you would have to report to, is that correct, or how does that work?
I believe I would still be from here. I'm still learning more about it, but I believe I would still be technically stationed here, except I won't be coming to work. My main job would just be
You wouldn't have
school.
any duty hours. Your job would be school.
My job would be
get
school.
through that.
Still getting the same benefits pay as if I was coming here every day.
And then what job do you do in the Coast Guard?
I'm an intel specialist. I get from other intel guys down in the districts and sectors down San Francisco and San Diego. I get products from them and then disseminate it to our pilots here, and they go carry out the mission.
So what type of intel would that be for the SAR or law enforcement?
Mainly
or
LE.
everything?
Mainly LE. Don't really mess with SAR.
Okay, so if you had any types of tips that were coming in that, hey, maybe these people are coming in, that's the type of work you would do?
Yeah.
Now, whichever path you choose, commissioned officer or enlisted personnel, the Coast Guard provides you with fantastic life experiences and a top-rate education.
Professionalism and a good work ethic. We're pilots first, and we're officers second. We're held to a high standard. We represent the United States Coast Guard to the general public. So it's important that we're professional and we maintain professionalism wherever we go on and off duty, as well as a good work ethic. Flying isn't the only thing we do. Each pilot here has a collateral duty. So I'm the public affairs officer. He works in facility engineering, and that's our secondary duty, and it keeps us busy. And there's never a slow time here at the.
So that keeps you busy and it keeps you on the toes. And because now, how often do you normally go out on an actual mission? I know you guys do trainers a lot, but an actual mission. how many would you expect in a day sometimes?
Ooh.
Maybe I know it's a hard, but just to kind of give the idea for some people that are looking at doing that, is it dependent on the area that you're stationed at, or?
Right, yeah. It can depend on the area you're stationed at. For us, we have such a big AOR. It can tend to be higher for us, because we are the only fixed wing asset on the West Coast. It depends.
What's the closest? So I guess obviously they have them up in Alaska, but is it from here to Alaska you guys cover, or?
So Kodiak,
Canada. I understand that.
Yep,
part,
Kodiak covers all of Alaska and District 17, and then there's also Station Barbers Point in Hawaii, and they cover all of the Hawaiian Pacific as well. So we cover from the Mexican border all the way to the Canadian border and everything in
you
between.
guys have a very large responsibility.
Yes, definitely.
And like we were speaking earlier, when we flew in, we were flying right through your area of responsibility as well.
Exactly. Yep. We routinely do practice drops with Station Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
In the mountains. Yep.
Well, that's really good information. So I really appreciate you gentlemen, spending the time hanging out with us and kind of showing us your beautiful aircraft and talking with us. And like you said, your second duty is the PIO, so that's how we were able to get in contact with you directly. So I really appreciate you guys giving us the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. Sorry.
Thanks, Steve.
I really appreciate the crew for taking the time out of their busy day to show all of us around. Make sure you check out the other videos where we cover many different aspects of the U.S. Coast Guard. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you click like and subscribe and share this video with all of your friends. It really helps. I appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.